hope that everybody is refreshed after the coffee break and ready for our last panel of the day. The most politically not correct one, the dark side of the gastronomy, with my distinguished guests. We will start right away, but I'll just let you remember that we have both the quiz for you. The details will be sent to all the registered participants of our conference to their mail. We also have a survey, and we'll be very happy if you will kindly answer those questions for us, because this way we try to measure what's the situation all over the world for the restaurants in this pandemic era we are living now in. And we are starting the panel for the dark side of the gastronomy with my guests, and please let me introduce them shortly. Alex Atala, for the last 13 years, his restaurant in Sao Paulo, D.O.M, being the first in Brazil to receive 2 Michelin stars. He was also on with his restaurant, the part of the world's 50 best restaurants listed by Restaurant Magazine. Alex Atala also has involvement in other restaurant in Sao Paulo, Bio Healthy Eating, which has goals of using 100 of all ingredients and encouraging consumption awareness, being eco. We have with us Alex, and I hope he can hear us. Alex, welcome. We have also Rodolfo Guzman, who after working for many important restaurants in Chile and Europe, he has built at the end of 2006 Boragó, his own restaurant, and has also created the CIB, a food researching center, in order to focus on discovering the new possibilities of Chilean ingredients. Hi, Rodolfo. With us today is also Floriano Pellegrino, the chef and owner of the 1 Michelin star restaurant Bros. Previously worked for the most important start kitchens with Luis Antonio Anduriz, Eneko Akca, Alexandre Gautier, René Redzepi, and the French Claude Bossy in London. Hi, Floriano.
Hi, everybody.
And we have with us Erik Vildegaard, who worked in Denmark's best restaurants, including Noma, Solerot Crow, and Almanac, and now runs restaurant Jordnær with his wife Tina, creating an exciting farm-to-table dining experience. Hi, Erik.
Hello.
And hopefully shortly we'll be joined by Gaggan Anand, an Indian chef, owner and executive chef of the progressive Indian restaurant named Gaggan in Bangkok, Thailand, who previously played drums in various rock bands before embarking on a culinary career. He's facing some technical issues right now, so hopefully he will join our discussion shortly. So, within this set of my guests, I would like to start our discussion, and as it's titled Dark Side of the Gastronomy, we will tackle a lot of maybe not unpleasant but difficult or challenging subjects regarding the gastronomy, because we had very pleasant talks throughout the day. Now let's have some serious talk about what's going on in the business. Rodolfo, you are a very successful chef, but it wasn't always like that. I had the information that your restaurant was for 6 years didn't earn any money. I'm sure that was a difficult time. That was a challenging time. How did you deal with it? How did you manage to go for such a long time without hope, or with some hope in your mind? Please elaborate a little bit on that. How you can be persistent for such a long time and believe in your own success?
Hey, Anna. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very excited to be here. Well, to be honest, it's it's Boragó. It's more a consequence than a person, if you like. We certainly, we started this very small little tiny restaurant back then. I was still in my 20s when we started, and when you're young, you have more wishings than experience. We all know that. And to be honest, we just like you said, the restaurant, we did it terrible, awfully at the beginning, in many senses, not only economically, but it's just a journey. It's the matter of fact that having a beautiful journey. Also, I shouldn't say it, but I'm very grateful to be able to taste that sort of experience, because it's those sort of journeys are always they're able to bring knowledge, not to yourself only as a cook, but to your entire team, and to feel more appreciation for the good things to come. So we had absolutely an empty restaurant. Even so, at the beginning, Chileans, the people in Chile, didn't even know that we existed. So it was a big trouble, because in Chile you would never ever travel to eat. Like, you have amazing countries in the region, such as Peru, Brazil, or Argentina, Mexico, where gastronomy or culture is more attached. Chile, it is, of course, is well developed nowadays, but there were too many things much more important than food. It was more related to nourishment rather than culture, So restaurants weren't that sort of a thing that where you wanted to travel to eat, or or just to think on gastronomy as its own. But at the end, we started this restaurant. It was very, very weird for Chile, because not the good things, not the best things, but the good things, we said, they were coming from outside of the country, and I would say, so a Japanese fish would fly all the way up from Japan to Chile, will have more quality. This is, of course, this is unreal. We live only 1 hour away from the coast in Santiago, So the best quality is the one that it just you just catch it and bring it to the restaurant. But Chileans, we didn't really comprehend this sort of equation. So it was very tough at the beginning, because also we didn't know anything about the ingredients in Chile, unfortunately, because of the same reason, So we have to learn. We didn't want it to be we didn't want it to documenting or anything. We had a whole bunch of needs to do, So to learn, and at that point, it was a big journey. It took us a long time, but also at the same time, the restaurant, economic wise, just like you said, it was done like under the water, and for us it was very, very hard. And I don't know, I tried to explain in the book also, I have no answer for this. I don't know how we do it. I don't know how we did it. I'm sorry. We in Chile we call it bicycle, just riding the bicycle, feeling the momentum, and that's what we felt, So I would say the Boragó is one of those things that happens in life, where you're putting your entire energy on it, where you're pursuing your passion. You of course you have to have the skills as a cook to make it happen, but it suddenly happened. After we should be actually we were in a absolutely bankrupt, and I was trying to sell the restaurant. After I don't know, after the 4th year, I was trying to sell the restaurant. The 5th year, I was so close, so close. I was going into not another depression, because my personality doesn't allow me to get to that deep hole, fortunately. But I was like so frustrated. I couldn't do anything. I remember the guy that wanted to buy the restaurant said to me, he wanted to do the transaction, just to buy the entire thing. And he said to me, Rudy, listen, I'm not going to buy this restaurant, because it's impossible. I kind of analyzed the situation, your numbers. It's impossible. This is it. So I got very, very frustrated by that time. And then suddenly we heard about this list in Latin America back in 2013, that was going to be a version of the World 50 Best in the region. So I said, like, okay, I have nothing to lose, to go there and just to see what happens. So we went there, and the restaurant did it pretty good. We had no you know no hope, no nothing. All I knew is that I was on a bankrupt. So suddenly the restaurant passed from a totally empty restaurant from one day to the next. It was fully booked for within a month. So it was quite amazing. I couldn't believe it. It took me a long time to get used to it, actually. But to be honest, I'm still thinking how we did it, how we managed to move forward. I would love to have that recipe and tell you, hey, look, listen, it was a plan. We thought about every single little detail. But Boragó, it was. I feel that it was more about the momentum of having nothing. Unfortunately, I have no. I don't know if I'm saying I have. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have no partners. I'm not coming from a family that can support all of that. So it was one of those things that happens in life once again, and I'm very grateful to be part of that journey.
Yeah. It's sad you don't have this recipe because in those hard pandemic times it might be a top seller to share your great success story of the misery of many years and then a great success. So still let's keep on this thought of the momentum and riding the bike till you can and till you reach the success. But I know that you also had another challenge that you also expressed in one of the interviews when you said Chile has to be one of the main countries that is part of the culinary future of the world. And you've mentioned about scrapping many things just from the beginning, but also we know that when some parts of the world are trying to put their cuisine into the fine dining to show their roots and show their cultural heritage within the fine dining, they find also some identity problems. So they don't know how to show it, how to pursue this journey with their cuisine to be shown much broader to the public. So do you feel yourself the ambassador of Chilean cuisine now? And if yes, how did you achieve the status?
Okay. Going back to the first question, I'm sorry. If there has to be a recipe for this, I would say the COVID has been very tough. It's been very tough. It's probably just in a different language, if you like, but it's far to be the hardest thing we ever had as a restaurant. So I would say we're very lucky because it's not that we feel prepared, but we know what hard times are. So in a way, we were grateful on that. And about the question you're doing, I feel an ambassador. Yes, more than ambassador, I feel a lot of responsibilities now because there's a young generation coming behind us. Now they know the ingredients. Now they know what a good restaurant in Chile can do. Now they know many things that are happening in Chile for first time ever. And I would say that more than an ambassador, I feel a big responsibility on that sense, and many others, if you like. But again, I said that Chile represents many things because Chile wasn't on the map in Latin America, if you like. You were coming to Chile to maybe to go to beautiful Patagonia. Maybe you were coming to go up north to the Atacama Desert or to do some snow skiing. We have three snow ski centers about 45 minutes from downtown in Santiago. That's beautiful. Of course, people are traveling for that, but you would never ever would travel to Chile to eat. People used to say that we overcook the fish and we bad treat, many ingredients. And it's because of what I told you before. We felt not attachment to food in many senses. So when we opened the restaurant, we said we felt very attracted to the possibility of knowing nothing about a subject, and this is very important and very relevant to us till nowadays, because when you don't know nothing about a subject, there is a very interesting opportunity to learn from. So that's what we became. We decided to become into professional learners. So we said, probably we didn't do it at the beginning in the first 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years. We weren't doing it, you know. But there's three things I consider very relevant for any cook in the world to become a good cook or a good restaurant. To understand who you are, where you come from, and what you gotta run. The deeper you learn from, the better for yourself, and the more complete as a cook or as a restaurant you become. So saying all of that, we started again that journey that we knew nothing about Chile, you know, and we thought that it was the biggest challenge and opportunity at the same time. So we started to write it down, you know, making notes, you know, hey, wow, this ingredient, it comes from this area, it comes from Boragó. What we do? Oh, we cook it this way. So it has emulsifiers or whatever, we wrote it down. It grows from this date till this date. Oh, fantastic, amazing. So, but the seasonality is very short in Chile, you know? It's very, very, very short. So our seasons are very winter, you really feel it. Spring, same. Summer is very dry, and yeah. So we didn't have much time to experiment with each ingredient. So it was going to take us a long time to learn from zero. So suddenly we discovered, or not to discover, I wouldn't say that, we noticed that it was a big opportunity, even bigger than what we thought, because Chile, it's one of the biggest endemic countries in the world, such as, you know, Brazil. Alex is you know, Alex know that. And you know, but the thing is, in Chile, we never thought about food. And our economic model says that we we sell ingredients to some other countries, they create knowledge, and then we rebuy it. So that's the perfect economic cycle. That's how Chile, that's the secret behind economy of Chile, you know. That's why we as a small country, we develop well, but we never created knowledge. So in a way, we started to create knowledge behind every ingredient that we feel attracted to it, and that path was amazing. So we really think that not only for gastronomy, yeah, of course, gastronomy is amazing because it's everything, you know, it's culture, it's people, it's our all history as a, I'm sorry, as humans, you know, but also about possibilities. Saying that Chile is one of the biggest endemic countries in the world, it means economical opportunities, cultural opportunities, of course, to bring within the next future, maybe, I don't know, to bring new flavors to maybe to some more people, even so, maybe outside of the country. What I'm saying about this is healthy food, you know, good quality of food. We have a big land, which in a case is very pristine in a way, you know. We haven't we've been able to take care of, and we can, it has a lot of potential in many senses, especially in agriculture, especially the raw materials, you know. We have a coast that it goes from up north to down south that is has more than 4,000 kilometers. So it's a very cold ocean. So suddenly we've developed 4 lines of work. One of them is a seaweeds. We have more than 750 kinds of seaweeds. Chileans, we only use 4 kinds traditionally, or whatever in the most recent culture. Then we alophytes, the rock plants that they grow in the rocks, they have 38% of protein. It's super tasty. We never use them. And of course the fungi world, the mushrooms. So we we started with all of those ingredients, and of course fish, the small little tiny fish such as sardines and anchovies. We never use those kinds of fish, and seafoods also we never use. So Chile has a big opportunity to develop a great gastronomy. It wasn't on the map, now it is, and I think it's great.
So there are two.
That's what
So there are two victorious battles behind you. The first one for the sake of your own restaurant, and the second for the sake of the Chilean heritage. So congratulations on those. Although those are also a little bit of the dark sides of the gastronomy, showing how much we have to put, how much effort has to go from our side till we create something that lasts for years. And many people think that it's just like this. Talking about some challenging times, Eric, I know that there is a long story behind your cooking career and being a successful chef nowadays, and that it wasn't always an easy and nice path through your life. And there is also some, I've heard that there is also some love story behind the way you've became a chef. So could you share with us your dark story within the gastronomy?
Wow, it's a huge topic, like a whole life story, which I had to sum up in 15 minutes. Almost impossible. But love conquers all in the end. And, you know, my path towards opening this restaurant has been very tough. And but not that tough that I didn't learn anything from it. On the other side, I actually gained a lot of experience, which I can use now in my running of the restaurant. So, but yeah.
Yeah, but do you think that there are any experiences from your life that can be used also in those times that we are facing now? I think that the subject of the pandemic and challenging ourselves and fighting with difficult and various obstacles is something that goes back and back in every discussion. We somehow cannot skip that because this is what keeps us going. So do you find in your life any lessons, anything that it can be valuable for others as well, how to manage the tough times and still pursue your dreams?
I think with passion comes a lot of heart, and I think that I can speak for the whole world gastronomy when I say that we are here because we have heart, and we push because we believe that we have what it takes. But also, when we hear from Rodolfo that even though you have nobody believing you, sort of speaking, then you just have to push on to go where you want to be. And you know, it is always the believe in yourself, even though there's a pandemic right now, and you have, I'm pretty sure a lot of restaurants have a really tough time, but good times will come, or else we just have to adapt into where we want to belong as a restaurant.
We've just talked with Rodolfo about the aspect that building something successful for years takes years to build, as for the restaurant, as for the discovering the culture. But looking on a smaller scale, we also know that the work in the gastronomy is something extremely hard and challenging. Those are the long hours, long days, running over hours, putting everything, your heart, your time, your energy into your work, into what you're creating. And what we know that is also a lot of young people use drugs, use alcohol, use anything that can ease on their tension or help them run longer hours, be better, be faster. What do you think is the solution to avoid such extreme options? What should change? You have both the optics of the employee and employer at the moment. So what do you think, how we can support people not to have many dark stories of such kind in the gastronomy?
I would say that our generation, my generations of chefs and the generation before me, we like you said, we used different various substances to keep going, to achieve our dream. But you know, it's with with that experience, we have to give it on to the new generation and tell them, you don't have to be high to do your job. For example, you don't have to drink every night after service, because if you are doing what you love, it shouldn't be a challenge like that. And I think that, it's hard to sum up, but of course there is a lot of devils in the industry towards like the demons of the industry is a lot of alcohol, a lot of hard drugs. But you also have to understand that if you want to live a life outside the restaurant scene and have like two various lives working together, you want to be with your friends Saturday night, but you just finished the 6 days work week, then it's hard to catch up with the guys when you meet in the city 2:00. I can understand that, but perhaps the best advice I give my chefs is they should go home and then spend the Sunday having a drink with their friends there, and then go home in a reasonable time. Because me, as an example, I fucked it all up by drinking and snorting too much cocaine. I am the worst example of how to be a good guy in this industry. But I was saved by love. I met my wife, and she told me, you need to make a choice. And this is how we run the restaurant here. We tell people you have to make a choice. Either you're on board or else you're not on board. You can't be both places. You can't live in the dark world and then be a part of a bright future. It's impossible.
So it seems that you have to find a balance in your life and not putting everything on one card, like being within the industry. But as your example says, you've just said your wife and her love saved you. So there is something else you need also to find in the life, not only putting yourself 100% into work.
Yeah, but you need to know what you're stepping into, because gastronomy is not a work. It is a way of living. You become a chef. You're not having a job as a chef. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that before they enter the industry, that you cannot switch it on and off. You are a chef 24/7. And by that, you also need to sacrifice yourself into it. And for the most people, I think it's hard to realize that, because then they feel that they skip out on other things in life, like friendships and family. But you need to find joy within the chef community and be part of the world. You cannot be a part-time chef, like going home after work. If you don't think about food, you're in the wrong industry. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but hopefully there are many wise managers and employers who can say to their chefs, as you've just said, what you are communicating to your chefs and people working for you, that you need to find this balance. You need to find something in your life that will balance those long hours, even if you are not working, but having the attitude of a chef 24/7. Alex, I would like to ask you about another challenge of the modern world for the chefs. We are still being shown the pictures on the Instagram, all the social media of the great things, beautiful dishes, newest things that we gain from the technology, laser, 3D printing, and things like that. Don't you think that some young chefs are being creative just for the sake of creativity, so they are just trying to gallop towards being the best, the most shiny, and showing off, instead of focusing what the cuisine, cooking, preparing food is really about?
Oh, thank you, Joanna. Guys, thank you. Thank you, Floriano. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Rodolfo. You guys are amazing. So glad to be here. Well, to be straight to the point, creativity. I have been using creativity my lifetime. I remember when I started on back 20 years ago, I was doing just because I want to do. And in that point, there was something amazing who I only understood maybe 2-3 years ago, which was be spontaneous. In my time, be creative wasn't trying to show off. It was just trying to do something in a different way. And this spontaneity, I can still find in the young chefs. So I don't think that we, as old chefs, we have the right to say to those kids that, guys, don't do that. It's the flip side of coin. We might say, guys, keep doing, but just be focused. Creativity is amazing when you have utility. So this is innovation. And I'll try to make that in a short explanation. Be creative. It is not a, it isn't it is not do what nobody did before. It's the opposite. It's do what everybody does in an unexpected way. And what is innovation? Innovation is utility, more creativity. There is no meaning try to do something that only myself can do. We might to figure out a way to spread our recipes, to spread our techniques, to spread our creativity. This is guarantee utility. So keep focusing in utility, in innovation, more than be only trying to keep creating, but keep alive the flame of spontaneity.
Do you think that we can now somehow stream in our creativity into sustainability aspect? For example, we had some previous discussions today, and it turned out that it's not so easy to be sustainable for many of the restaurants, and there are still wishes to be more sustainable, but also the chefs were saying, yes, but we know what we are facing and we are not as sustainable as we would like to be. Do you think that this creativity can be now used in a good case? I know that your Instituto ATA, so the ATA Foundation, is focused on revealing to people the real value of the food, the appreciation of what we are eating, not just consuming, but focusing on what we have on our plates. So what's your approach, and what comes from the work of your foundation in this subject?
Well, in a way, we try to support the food chain, small producers. Let's understand that big wines, big cheese in Europe, it is not made by big companies. It's made for small producers. So support small producers can be the key, the way to show to people that biodiversity has a value. When you talk about biodiversity, maybe didn't taste, but when you taste biodiversity, this can be so helpful. And the wine industry show to us how important is the biodiversity. Nowadays, we drink wine from all over the world, from different grapes, from endemic grapes from all over the world. So this is amazing, and we might do the same in gastronomy. Value, bring back value. To make a long story short, we have restaurants to make money. As Rodolfo said, we need to make money, and we love money. We have been trained for it. It's part of our culture, make money. But stop. Why we don't throw away a single coin? Maybe if you throw away a coin is to make a wish to make more money. This is our relation with money. Why we throw away food? Maybe because we undervalue food. And the food that we throw away has more economic value than the coin that you didn't throw away. So it's time to rebalance the value. Pandemic, or the pandemic moment that we are living right now, we are facing right now, let clear that we can live without, for example, soccer players, but we can live without small producers, food producers. So value is the key. Value is the answer.
So yes, this is another dark side of the gastronomy, the sustainability and amount of food that we are wasting, or as you've just said, throwing away, not realizing their true value or underestimating the value of small producers, those ones that we can really rely on, especially if we talk about the local producers in those hard pandemic times where not always everything can be brought to us from another part of the world, but there are always those ones who are close to us who can supply us with what we want, what we need, and we can create some relationship with them. I would like to tackle another aspect of maybe what we can say it's not such a dark side of the gastronomy, but rather a challenge, talking about doing everything at once in those busy times. Maybe a little bit calmer now because of the pandemic, because we cannot travel so much, but still we are throwing ourselves in the new projects, opening new restaurants, writing books, being on TV, doing some shows. Don't you think that some people are, I mean, of course, by this, the chefs, we are still staying within the industry, they are losing the fun part of being the chef, of being the creator, and we are tackling too many things at once, too many projects at the same time. What's your view, Alex, on that?
Well, as a chef, our first commitment is delivering delicious. We might keep focus on that. Deliciousness it's our business. It's our dream. It's our everything. So since you have a successful business, I'm not talking about make money. I'm talking about delivering what a chef might do, which is delicious. Feel free and allowed to do whatever you want. So you can use your voice. Nowadays, we as a chef, we are the strongest voice in the food chain. So we have different chefs in the world who have their successful restaurants, like Massimo Bottura doing something with a social gastronomy, like René have been doing for the Nordic culture. There's many possibilities. The thing is, just have the balance between commitment, your main commitment again, which is being in the kitchen, and the pleasure to break the rules, to push the boundaries. We might understand this can be a dark side. Push the boundaries, break the rules.
Yeah, surely this can be, especially that frequently those projects are very nice to our eyes because they bring fame, they bring big money, they bring exposure, which can be then translated to money and fame again and again. So this might be quite a temptation, and then we might forget about this main duty that we have to create the deliciousness, as you've just said, that we have to create something that firstly lands on the plate and just then is being shown on TV. But firstly, we have to show people something that is delicious. Floriano, I would like to tackle some questions with you now. I hope you can hear us clearly because I know that we had a drop off for the technical reasons. You have built yourself in a very short time, and you think as a brand and operate as a holding company, but you have no investors behind. So what is the thinking of such business, such a risky approach? But we of course heard about a similar approach from Rodolfo today already. When you have no one to support you financially, but still you want to pursue your dream.
Oh wow! Everybody, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you to the Best Chef Awards to believe in me since the beginning. I'm so happy, excited to be in front of this amazing icon chef, and many of you inspired me, all of my team, and my careers. But I will be very precise and direct, like me, since I here represent the new generation chef foodie, because all of my followers, the clients are the new generation. I'm millennial. When we start without money, just one thing was clear. It is important to be idea clear. It's so important. First step, we trust yourself. Second step, we want to be more than chef. We believe in quality in other fields, communication, skills, behind gastronomy. Third step, identity. Why people come from around the world to visit me, my team in Salento, Puglia, or Scorrano? Why is an amazing question. So the answer is identity. More than beautiful place, beautiful restaurant, beautiful or big wine cellar. These are so important for me and for my careers and for bros. Identity first, concept first. These steps have to be clear before you even open the restaurant or you decide to cook, open your life in the world, you understand what you can give, your uniqueness. This is so important for me because I'm from Italy. And in Italy, for the new generation, the new restaurants, so difficult. But the identity for me is so important.
We talked today in another panel about bringing on the powers of the community, reaching to what's local, because this is the power of especially those tough pandemic times. And you're famous in Italy for not taking Italians at the beginning, but at the same time you believe in the bros family so much that one of the most used hashtags is Be Bros. Please tell me, what's your approach to human resources and to basing on the fact of being local, being not local? What's behind this philosophy of yours from your beginnings?
First one, is important to be clear. Why we didn't bring Italian in Italy in the beginning? We always try to be international in our place. That is fucking cool. So we brought the word at home in Salento. Bros is not a fancy name. It means everything we make. Family, gang, crew. We use the mafia, the concept in a positive, amazing meaning. We select our guys throughout our office and our sous chef as they are sister or brothers. Our target is to build to best out of them. We help the roles to be the level or the best one. This is the secret of our success. We think like a rugby team. We help them believe in themselves. I always say, believe in yourself. We work with them from chef side, communication, professional, personal. We have each one of the bros family with the social media account and communication. To be organized, this is so important. I control our guys. All communicate at the same times. And Martin Berasategui in the same way. Martin Berasategui is like my dad, always told to me, before being a great chef, you have to be a great man. And this is the first step to all my guys and bros.
So we've already added to our dark side of the gastronomy list the word mafia. So thank you for that. Yes, this is broadening our perception.
In the good way, of course. In the good way. I come from South Italy. I come from the street. It's important for me to organize it. It's important for me to show the guys a new way of success, not just in the street, but in the kitchen. I work with tomato and eggplant, and also have a good car and a good house, and also a little bit success. This is important for the new generation to understand this.
Yeah, so I understood that this mafia is not understood in the classical way, but rather in the way that we are creating a kind of a community, but it plays well with the title of our panel. There is a question I would like to ask to you all, guys, regarding what are the sides, unseen sides of the contemporary chef, in addition to knowing how to cook. What should such a contemporary good chef have as his personality, as his attitude, as his knowledge, anything that is almost as important as knowing how to cook a good meal. Rodolfo, what would be your thought on that?
Well, I believe that, when you're becoming a chef, like you have a team, it doesn't matter if it's smaller or bigger, you have a whole big amount of responsibilities, not only with your restaurant, but with the people around yourself. There's, a restaurant as its own, it cannot be conceived without the food that is cutting the food out of the ground for you. And so there's a lot of people that such as agriculturists or fishermen. If you have the chance, maybe in some countries you don't have the chance, it's all good, but if you have the chance and you establish a relationship between all of those people, of course your quality is going to be beautiful, but also it's going to be a big responsibility with them. And also with your employees, with the people who's eating the food. So it's you have to pay salaries, you have to be it's good to receive recognition. We all love that, of course. We as Alex said, chefs, we're public people. Probably we're more the most known from the entire food chain, if you like, but that also had the responsibility, just going back to your work every day and just to make it better, not only with the restaurant, make it better with the producers, make it better with your clients. At the end of the day, what I mean is just food is about love, it's about care, it's about taking care of your own as the first thing, and the people you have around, and I really mean it, like the entire amount of people you have around in the social media, even in the social media, the people that you don't see in some other countries that you maybe never meet before, but they know you. So it's in the young chefs, they look you as a role model, and yeah. So I believe that is the biggest thing as a chef. You have to be worried about little things, but also very things that sometimes are out of your hands. And is a thing that we chefs, we have to be think about it, because food, it's very important. Sometimes people, we don't realize it's the if you think about the way we sometimes we don't use the right way, the food, we throw away too much, or even the new things, the new ideas behind food to be more sustainable, if you like, because there's people even at home look at you and bring in new ideas. So yeah, I think it's about that.
Thank you. Alex, what would be your thoughts on that from the perspective of your experience? So yes, I think we cannot hear you. You've muted yourself. Yes.
Yeah, but now it's working, sorry. Since my background, since my point of view, since my short history,
the characteristics that are good for the cooks, for the modern chefs, besides just knowing how to cook, what strong sides they should have to
be grateful, gratitude. We might understand that we didn't own the nature, we are just part of it. And if we are talking about nature, we might understand that a good restaurant, a perfect restaurant, can live without the chef. but the chef can't live without the team. And the team is not composed by only your staff. It's composed also with your suppliers. So be grateful with your team, your suppliers, the mother nature, and the life. Simple as that.
Simple, but yes, I think frequently we forget that those are not only the people just right around us, but the circle is much broader, and the things that we should be grateful for are much broader. Eric, what would be your approach to the unseen sides of a modern chef to be a successful or good one or the best one?
I think it is starting with, like Alex, he says, with the respect, and also knowing that you have a choice, and perhaps the fish doesn't have a choice, but you have a choice when it arrives into the kitchen. And in this kitchen, we actually joke around saying we rather fire a chef than throwing a fish in the bin, because we have the choice. And to know that is also to have heart towards what you work with, because it can be eggplants, it can be caviar, it can be whatever. All ingredients are precious. And if you as a chef and a young chef come into this community, I think my best advice would be to be respectful towards everybody you meet on your way. If it's a supplier, if it's a 3 Michelin star chef, the world's best chef, whatever, you have to have respect in all aspects of what you do, because you always have a choice. But and also you have to understand that if you treat your staff very well, they don't have to be the most technical chefs to be working in a good restaurant, because the skills they need to earn, you should be good enough as a chef to teach them. So what we buy in the restaurant with staff, it is personalities, because we need to be a family here. And I think that taking care of your own, as Rodolfo said, is also taking care of your staff, and make sure there is a work-life balance, which makes your staff sustainable in a long term.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for those thoughts. And Floriano, for you, what are the unseen sides for the contemporary chef that must be an addition to the cooking knowledge?
This is the most important point for me. Bros always think outside the box. You see, for example, our new campaign menu, winter autumn menu in Bros. My role as chef changed in these years. I'm obsessed with telling young chefs, they saying ourselves, American chefs is not only out of time, but it's insane. Now it is the time to change the classical education. Chef school in Italy, for example, are not ready to create contemporary chef. The new avanguardia is not about food and technology. After the chef like Alex Atala, it's all the chef here, Fernanda, René, Massimo. It's difficult to make avanguardia. Avanguardia for me is no technology or food. For me, avanguardia is a new role of a new chef in this time. Like me, like Isabella, like all my team, millennial, Generation Z. This is the point for me now. We are entrepreneur, communicator, visionary, social. We were born in this situation, in this vision. My generation has to be written communication, branding, economy, and politics. So I say to the young chef, and a lot of chefs, my followers now see me in this time, learning to cook is only a level 1 in a scale from 0 to 10. Just only cook. This is important for us to be entrepreneur with your money. This is important.
Thank you for your vision on that. Guys, I would like to get back to the main subject of our today's discussion, the dark side of the gastronomy. And I would like to ask you what the dark side of the gastronomy means to you from your experience or from the stories you've seen, you've heard, you've managed as the employers, or you've seen by your own eyes, no matter from what perspective, what would you call the dark side of the gastronomy? Maybe let's start with Alex.
Always the dark side is mine. Well, dark side of gastronomy. We over push it ourselves. We accept the pressure. We believe in, or we overvalue prices, lists, stars. Let's be human again. Let's cook by love. Let's feed people with love. We might to bring back values, real values. Be happy in the kitchen. Feel yourself strong inside your whites. This is the point. Sometimes I do believe that we overvalue, myself at least, I overvalue many things that didn't change my restaurant, didn't make my restaurant better. Maybe made my restaurant more famous, but not better. And instead myself. So dark side of the kitchen can be yourself, believe in yourself, and don't think about the dark side. Thinking about the bright side.
Try to keep it outside your bubble,
Yeah.
that the dark side exists, and maybe it will vanish.
Yeah.
Eric,
Thank you.
Eric, from your experience, what is really the dark side of the gastronomy? I think you have to switch on your microphone.
That will help. That will help a lot. Yes, I think that Alex he says it very well, that we push ourselves into, and we accept that is just the way of life. So there's only one life. I said earlier that you're a full-time chef, but that doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself in the process of being the best. You need to slow down and be part of the moment that you're in, because from experiences, you can push yourself to a limit where you either break or you become something which you shouldn't be. And I think for the new generation and for the real dark side of the gastronomy is that we all have to perform for some imaginary list, stars, whatever, that we all want to be that 1% of the chef community who are doing a TV show on BBC. It is not what it's about. It is about cooking for your guest. And remember why you become a chef, because we all have experience. When we grew up cooking, we were baking cakes with our grandma. It made us happy. We want to share that love. And in the process, we became drug addicts and alcoholics. Then it's not worth it, is it? So please, respect and love is the two key words to success in this business. And you need to respect yourself.
Rodolfo, do you agree, or would you add something to that list that Alex and Eric already brought to us? What is the real dark side of the gastronomy?
I would absolutely agree on Alex's talk and what Alex just said. I believe, I don't know how to explain it really. I don't think I have words to describe when we cooks were fully in touch or fully connected, because you're fully connected to the momentum of cooking as an act. This is what we truly feel in love with when we first became chefs, or when we had the opportunity to open a restaurant, or just to be a leader of a kitchen, or lead a kitchen. I'm sorry. So I believe that that is the magic, you know, just not to lose that flash, that beauty of enjoying that momentum where imagination plays around on our minds. So you know, there's too many distracting points around our careers as cooks, and it's all fine, it's all good, but as long as you don't leave that behind, you know, that is the important thing. And Alex said it better than I, and yeah, I absolutely agree. So I would start in the right side as well.
I would like to ask you one more thing that came to my mind. Would you call the social media the bright or the dark side for the gastronomy nowadays? Because we know, of course, that social media can save the day, can be a free advertisement. We can show everything on Instagram during lives or photos or on the Facebook or wherever else or whatever medium we are using. But again, we might have this instant competition to upload something newer, better, or frequently all the time. Would you call the social media something that makes the gastronomy brighter or darker? Eric? Yes.
Sorry. I would say that it can be both sides. For example, it brings us together today, and throughout social media we can share knowledge and we can learn from each other's experiences. But you cannot cook on Instagram. You can only cook in your kitchen, and you might take good photos and put it up and get a lot of likes and be a junkie towards that. But it is more important to be focused on having happy guests in your restaurant, because you are there for them. And you know, sometimes I think that of course we can benefit a lot from the online networking, but we also need to turn off the telephone a little bit of the time. We have 6 kids at home, so my time when I'm not working is with no phone, or else I cannot be present in my kids, because then I have to check my Instagram, I have to be on point, I have to be pursuing something. So it also can be a good and a bad thing, I would say. It's how you use it. It's like all other stuff in life, yeah.
Rodolfo, what's your approach on the social media versus the bright and the dark side of the gastronomy?
I think it could be the dark side and the bright side at the same time. It's on you. I personally consider myself a terrible, you know, it can be a full-time job. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm not really good. So, but it's a great tool to communicate. I mean, especially for restaurants. Restaurants sometimes, if you're living, for instance, in Europe, and you wanted to see what Alex is doing in Brazil, it's a great tool just to communicate and just through pictures and show what is happening. Or for us in South America, just knowing what Eric is doing up north, it would be a great opportunity just to learn from, you know. But at the end, I feel very blessed to put it away when I'm with my kids, just like as Eric said. Yeah.
And Alex, from your experience, when you started, there was no Instagram or no Facebook to share all our experiences in the real time. This is the food porn. This is my dish. This is what I've just ate. This is what I'm gonna to eat. So how do you see this change and the social media becoming the part of the gastronomy? Do you see it as a good change or a bad influence? Again, we cannot hear you. I'm afraid you didn't switch your microphone. I think we have some problem with the sound. No, we cannot hear you, sadly. So I'll let the technical team tackle it with you on the chat, how we can get the voice back. And in the meantime, I'll say hello to Gaggan, Anand, who joined us.
Hi, I was very busy in service, and I still have customers here. I'm in the restaurant. I'm sorry. Hi, Rodolfo. Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I fucked it up. I thought because I thought that the timing was 6 hours, but I forgot it's like not yet the winter time, so it's 5 hours.
So we're glad to have you here. If you are still working now, and you say you still have guests at your work, then the questions will be
No,
quite short for you. But
no, no.
already I see that this is the passion for your work. So and this is what we discuss it today as well, in terms of a dark side of the business, that we shouldn't just run the business. We should show, or we should base on the passion for work. Do you agree that creating and running a restaurant is more about passion than just looking at the Excel spreadsheet?
Oh, what is Excel?
What is your balance? What is your the money coming in?
I mean, I only first time in my life I looked at balance sheet and Excel was after COVID. You know, yeah. Before COVID, we chefs were too busy doing our job, as passion, and today our passion is a threat, and that is the biggest problem we have: the threat of losing what we love the most, and that's why we have to look at that numbers. But who cares about number? I think everybody in the world is in this very deep situation, and the only way to fight this out is with the passion of loving what we love to do. I mean, how do we I mean, we are chefs, we are not restaurateurs, we are not investors, we are not bankers. We invest in talent, we invest in uh, the whole idea of creating the food we time, our effort, our personal life. Nothing is uh, in space. Everything we do is for our restaurant, for the life of this that we dedicated to this jacket here. So I think it's all about passion and nothing else, and everything else is just a propaganda.
Talking about the propaganda, what would be your point of view from being in Thailand and running a business there about the social media? We've just discussed the fact whether the social media is a bright or a dark side for the gastronomy. So does it help you, or does it make an unnecessary way of trying to be better, faster, having more photos or whatsoever? So how do you approach this aspect as being dark or bright side?
I think I know you by social media, so it's the bright side. The dark side is that I am not on time. How do I say? I mean, social media is quite relevant. It's the new way. It's the new everything that you do, everything that we say, we cannot take it back. If suppose I say something which is racist, or something which is I hit someone's sentiment, it's instantly on social media. If I say something good, it's also on social media. So we have to be more behaved probably, or we have to be making sure that what we write is correct. But I think chefs like Alex and Rodolfo and other chefs that I know are extremely not naive, but living in their own comfort of being what they are as people. And in our dark side is our bright side. So in our dark side, if we post something which is strong, which is heavy, and which is like hitting the influencers, like just giving example, I'll give example. The only day I realized how powerful social media is when I posted a raw crab being killed by a 60-year-old guy who's famous for making sashimi of a crab in Japan for 50 years. He's been doing that in Hokkaido. And by mistake, I posted that. And people gave me so much shit. The vegan army, the vegan terrorists, the animal lovers, the pet friendly, the plant people who don't eat anything except wood. All these people came after me. And that day I realized how hate is incredible. I lost followers that day. I lost people, but I did not delete the video because that is the proof. And I remember once Alex told in Mad Forum, he said, cooking starts with a death. This is Alex's words. Cooking starts with a death. Yeah, I remember that word. And he took a chicken and he took the fucking neck out of the chicken. And that was a statement. He might be hated, he might be loved, but that is what is our dark side. What the fuck? We can cook anything live. We can burn a lobster. We can cook a live fish. We can cook anything we want, but we can't show it on social media. We live in a fake world.
Yeah,
Which
this might be the aspect of being living in a fake world, but I think like the hatred or the hate should be balanced on both sides. Here is speaking to you, Anna, the vegetarian, talking to all of you meat eaters and preparing the food for different reasons and different ways, and still we should be able to talk
no,
in the way that we respect each other. So yes, the hate on the social media can be a dark side, but still we can work our way around as we work it today.
I give you a very fun example. There's a small little sandwich restaurant in Bangkok, and because they are Thais and they don't understand English properly, but they understood that Black life matters. By mistake, they posted a sandwich which was made of a charcoal bread and said Black Life Matter sandwich. They had to shut the restaurant. They had to shut the restaurant because they posted a wrong sandwich on the wrong time. Hate. How do you cure hate?
Yeah, so this definitely can be put into the basket of the dark side of the gastronomy or dark side of the world, simply because this hate is common for all the everything that we do and for all the businesses. If you would have to list anything from your perspective that is really the dark side of gastronomy, because we talked today about the drugs and alcohol, working overtime, having no time for your personal life, pushing yourself too far, not appreciating the people and everything around you. For you, what would be maybe something new, not only from this list, what would be the real dark side of the gastronomy?
Yeah, I think the darkest side of gastronomy is today we see in COVID is that a lot of chefs, a lot of restaurants, a lot of people, every day we get so many requests from people that they're losing jobs and we cannot provide them a job. We cannot provide this. This industry is a very unsustainable industry right now. And I think the dark side is that, especially post COVID, we will value people more than business. And I think that is a learning step. It's in our dark side that we see the brightness. Because I'll tell you, in the same customer, the same restaurant, which was full and sold out and had all the ego pumping in our bloods in every chef that I am whatsoever I am and my restaurant is full and I don't care a fuck about anything. But after COVID, we are chickens. We are on debt parole and we are waiting how we can retain our staff. We are losing people, we are losing talent. But I think in this dark side, when the future is much brighter, at least people will value cooking more. Because the best thing about cooking is that when people start making breads, they realize, oh fuck, making a bread is not easy. Yeah. They realize cooking in home is no more easy. Yeah. So we chefs are more valuable today.
Yeah, surely. And today in some previous discussion, we had examples for that where people were very eager during the pandemic and continuing till nowadays to learn from the chefs, from the online courses, live cooking shows, how to cook properly, how to enjoy food, how to prepare food nicely, how not to have the junk food or big amounts of food, but how to enjoy food and how to listen to the chefs and why the way the chefs are preparing the food is the way it should be prepared, not just produced, but prepared with love and with respect to the ingredients as well. So thinking about the pandemic, thinking about the world we are now and the world we are going towards, because in some other discussion today we also discussed the fact that it might not be the last pandemic that we have, that might not be the last challenge that we have. What should be changed in chefs' work and attitude in the modern world? What we should think forward to maybe overcome some dark sides and go towards the bright side? Rodolfo, any final thoughts, any nice thoughts, something for us as a takeout from this discussion that will take us from the dark side to more brighter one?
So sorry, can you repeat the question? So sorry.
Yes, so in this world that we are living now, in also facing the pandemic, facing all the changes that we've discussed and all the dark sides, what should be changed in the chef's work and attitude, or in the modern chef's work and attitude, to take us a little bit more towards the brighter side of the gastronomy and let us leave the darker side behind?
Look, I feel that we already talked a little bit about this, but I believe that probably this pandemic situation will, as Gaggan just said, will brought us to a total new situation. Our restaurants are empty for a reason. Some countries are still locked down, and for instance, in Chile, we're still not able to open restaurants, or whatever the situation it will be. We're losing things. We're gaining another ones. I believe that within the next, I don't know, few years, we're gonna have to learn how to rediscover our own, as cooks, and just try to be more or understand better the ingredients, our businesses, and just not to stop paying attention to our cooking, our daily do's. That's what I believe, and when you're cooking, and we have too much attention, because of what Alex just said about the list, about this, about that, and we probably going to be from now and beyond, we're gonna when we're coming back, and when the situation gets back, we're going to have to be very focused on cooking. This is what should be our engines to move forward. Yeah.
Eric, your thoughts on the post-pandemic approach of the chefs and their attitude?
I think all the guys here, they have summed it up very well, but I think that we're going to come out, of course, damaged, but hopefully also stronger on some sides, towards being more in the kitchen, being more present in what we do instead of being on social media. So be on point, cooking for the guest, because I think the modern chef also sometimes can value fame over the guest. And I think that changes when you have an empty restaurant. I think that you see that you can't pay your bills with Instagram likes, and you can't pay with good ideas online, but you have to be focused with your guest. So I think that is what's going to come out of it. It's going to be a better, more condensed focus towards the guest, hopefully.
Let's hope for the best. Alex, a final takeout from you.
Now you guys are hearing me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. What we can do, maybe we can lose inside of us, re-understand our movements, our actions, our desires, our deepest desires. Why? Because maybe we became addicted by social media. We can't blame social media. We can blame ourselves to be addicted to fucking digital social media. This is my point. Stop to try to find fucking... Don't try to blame the others. Just replace it yourself. Thinking what you can do and what we might do. It's just it.